Hello. So today I want to share with you some of the things that I'm actually not going to do in 2024. To be honest, I'm a very goal oriented person, and being that we are at the start of another new year, I know that I'm thinking about some of the things I'd like to do, some new goals, some new strategies. Definitely have been on the internet looking at what other people are doing, and I love setting new goals. I ain't gonna lie with you. I don't wait till the new year to set new goals and try new things. But definitely for me, the new year always does represent a new start, a new opportunity at just a fresh beginning, and I really love that. But one of the things that I've really discovered is that being that I'm very goal oriented, I know that that has really served me well over the years. But I've also found, especially in the last few years, that it's very helpful for me to be cognizant of the things that I'm not going to do, right? And I think that's really important for me as someone who is a go-getter, right? Who is goal-oriented. Sometimes we can focus a lot on the things that we are trying to do, trying to achieve, and therefore lose sight of the things we may want to learn to not do. And in this journey of life, what I've discovered is, yes, it's important to learn, and it's great to try new things and do new things and learn new things, but it's also equally valuable to unlearn some old things and really put in some work to unlearn some prior patterns of behavior or things that just haven't served us well, right? And I don't know if it's just me or if it's just the trend in our society. But yes, unlearning, I'm finding, is really, really helpful. I don't know. What do you think? Are you spending time working on unlearning some things in addition to learning some things? But yeah, I want to share with you a few of the things that I'm not going to do in 2024. But before I get into that, let me just introduce myself. My name's Dr. Nicole LaShawn. I am a nurse practitioner with a background in family medicine. Here on this channel, I talk about things related to health, wellness, nutrition, and travel. And specifically, I am helping Black women to create a life that we want to live rather than the one that has been assigned to us. Specifically, I believe that our health is our wealth. And I really do believe that travel in particular is a form of therapy for us. So I really love to help Black women to create a travel therapy plan. So if that sounds like something that you are interested in, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel, share this video with a friend, leave a comment below. That all helps. So let's get into this new year. You know what I mean? Let's get into this new year. Let's get into it right. And let's talk about some things that we're not going to do in 2024. So grab you a drink. I have some chai tea here. And let's get into this. So number one that I have that I'm not going to do in 2024 is I'm not going to put off my life until I'm healed. I know that there's a good chance that like 99.9% of you are on a healing journey, as well as I am, right? We're all trying to heal from something. But I personally believe and have discovered, especially over this last few years, that healing is a part of our life journey, right? And I don't believe that it's necessary to put off living until we're healed from something. That's just me. That's just me. That's what I've discovered. But I believe that we can heal or be in the process of healing even as we're living our life. I know people may have their own opinions, and I think it's really important to tune in with your own self, right? Tune in with what your body is telling you, what your mind and what your emotions are telling you. And certainly it may be necessary to take a break from certain things, certain activities. But I know that for me, what I've discovered is that I I just think that healing is a part of our life journey. Oftentimes we may have something we need to heal from, and when we heal from that, there's going to be something else that comes up. And it's important that we are fully living our lives even while we are healing. And I feel like I remember one of the first times I had heard that was when I was reading Gabrielle Union's book, We're Gonna Need More Wine. Is that what it's called? Let me look it up. But she just has 2 books. It was her first book. What was it called? Yeah, We're Going to Need More Wine by Gabrielle Union. And she specifically spoke, if you haven't read her book, it's really good. She has 2 books out and I love them both. Highly recommend them. It's been a few years, I think, since I've read her books, but both of them were really good. But in her book, one of the things that she discussed, she went into details with regard to some of the struggles that she's been through, in particular as it relates to her fertility journey. And she spoke about how even through healing, through relationships, how she continued to, move forward with her life. And I think for me, that was such a valuable lesson, because at times, I think sometimes we can get the impression that we're supposed to put our lives on hold until we're this healed, perfected being. And I just don't think it's realistic, like, right? Certainly we want to be progressing in our life. We want to be doing better, but it's also important to live this life while we're alive, okay? We don't want to put off living this life until we feel that we are in a perfect position. We're not supposed to be perfect. We are flawed as human beings, and that's just the way it is. But we want to be the best that we can as we are now, and then do better with the next season or with the next whatever it is that we become. But I know that for me, I'm not going to put off my life while I heal. So even as I've discovered things that maybe are bothering me, that I know that I need to put in time and work to be intentional about progressing and, healing from, I'm also going to intentionally continue to live my life in that process. What I've learned in doing that is, for me, it helps me to continue to create and form good memories, even through times of difficulty, if I'm continuing to be intentional about living while I heal. Otherwise, what I discovered is I just would have seasons or months or whatever, weeks, where I just have these memories that are, like negative. And who wants that, right? I don't want to remember months or seasons or weeks or whatever the case is and have that associated with a negative memory. So if I am living and doing the things, right? If I'm doing life and being intentional about doing things that I enjoy, despite what I might have going on, then I'm constantly creating positive memories, positive reinforcements. And for me, that has been so beneficial to my healing journey, right, over these last couple years. So what about you? What do you think? Do you tend to want to just take time off from things, take time off from friends and family and connections and relationships while you're healing? Or do you feel that you should do life while you're healing? Let me know. Next, I have on my list, what I'm not going to do in 2024 is I'm not going to feel guilty or shameful for saying no. Yeah, I'm not going to feel guilty or shameful. I realize that, as someone who has had to learn how to have boundaries and has had to learn the language to articulate those boundaries, I know that for me, I had initially started having some feelings of shame or feeling sad or bad. And, with time and probably with age, right? With age, you begin to be like, girl, that those feelings of feeling shameful and guilty, they don't serve anybody. In particular, they don't serve me and they don't benefit the situation. So what's the point, right? So, just being firm in where I stand and being confident that my decision is going to benefit me. that really helps to get rid of those feelings of feeling guilty or shameful. And then also realizing that, like, at the end of the day, I don't really owe anybody anything. What I owe is myself. I owe myself, and I owe it to myself to be authentic to me. And so if that requires that I say no or turn down whatever it is I need to turn down or set a boundary, then it is what it is. The next thing that I'm not going to do in 2024 is I'm not going to participate in the trauma Olympics. Okay? I am not participating in the trauma Olympics. I don't need a gold medal for having the worst situation, the worst circumstance, the saddest story. So I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to opt out this season. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to run that race anymore. I am done, right? I've just found that for me, focusing on things that are difficult, it doesn't help me to progress. In fact, it helps me, it makes me feel powerless, right? When I am participating in constant situations where I am being exposed to things that are sad and down and the things that I can't control in particular, it just makes me begin to feel helpless, right? And that really doesn't serve me well. I really want to feel as though I am the champion of this ship, that I'm in control, and I want to feel empowered to do the things that I can rather than feeling helpless. And I've noticed that for me in particular, that when I am participating in the trauma Olympics, when I am, you know what I mean, trying to give in to telling my sad story, you know, and see how it compares with your sad story, and we can be sad together, it just doesn't get me moving in the right direction. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, we don't need to take time to corroborate and empathize with one another, but, you know, that doesn't have to last forever, right? At some point, we need to move on and move forward, take back our power, and do what we need to do to live our best lives and be happy, right? You deserve to be happy, and I deserve to be happy. So, yeah, not gonna participate. The next thing I have on my list, I'm not going to avoid the things that provoke fear in me. Nope, not avoiding the things that provoke fear. You know, over the last few years, I've really been intentional about practicing working through fears, whatever they may be. It's been a great challenge and a great learning experience for me. But one thing that I remind myself, or like maybe an affirmation that I tell myself, is that fear is a feeling, not a command. It reminds me that fear is definitely something that I feel, and it's very normal to feel fear, especially when doing something new, trying something you haven't tried before, or taking a risk. But it's really just a feeling. It's not a command. So fear is not a way of saying, stop, don't do that, right? So fear can't command you to not do something, right? It's just alerting you and giving you a sense or a sensation. But you can still move forward. And what I've discovered is that moving forward, even in the midst of fear, really makes you feel powerful and confident, right? A lot of times people want to know, how do you become confident in this? Really, developing confidence is really about doing things despite the fear, right? I just finished reading a book, Everything is Figure Outable. And I found that to be really extremely helpful in helping to frame fear and taking it for what it is, right? It's not a command. It's not going to force you to do nothing. It's not going to force you to stay in a situation that's uncomfortable. And you don't really want to do that. You really want to allow your dreams and your goals to determine what you do and don't do, not your fear, right? So, not avoiding those things that make me fearful. Because when I look back, and I think of the things that I've been fearful of, and I think of the ways that I did them anyway, I just feel so good and so grateful for having had those experiences and those opportunities and even those failures. I'm even grateful for my failures because, and this I could probably add to the list, it wasn't on the list, But I'm not going to be afraid of failure, because what I've learned is that failure is basically just an example to me. It shows me that I'm growing, and it shows me that I'm willing to do things. I'm willing to take risks. I'm willing to do things that I wouldn't normally be comfortable doing. And that makes me so proud of myself, right? It means that I'm getting outside of my comfort zone. It is a growth opportunity. It means that I'm living my life to the fullest. So yes, at this stage, I have no fear of failure. I want to do as many things as I can. And if I fail, that's fine. That's just more data that I have. It's just more information that I have about who I am becoming, and where I'm going in life. And it's okay. There's nothing wrong with failure. Next that I have on my list, what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to prioritize things over my health. When I sit down with myself and when I journal, one thing that consistently comes up for me with regard to what my priorities are for myself is always health, relationships, family. Those things always are first in my life. You know what never comes up is work. Money is important, but when I actually sit down and journal with myself, money does not end up as number one in terms of my priorities. It's my health, it's my well-being, it's my mental health, it's my peace, it's my self-care, it's me being comfortable with who I am and what I'm doing, and me being content. And so, yeah, I'm not going to prioritize things over my health. I'm going to make sure that in 2024, I'm taking care of myself. And if that means other things have to be placed on the back burner, then that's what we're going to do. So tell me, I mean, do you tend to prioritize your health, or how do you keep it as number one, especially when other things, come to compete, right? We all have priorities, and sometimes it's challenging to ensure that you are taking care of your health, but I always like to keep that in the forefront of my mind. Another thing that I'm not going to do here in 2024 is rush. What are we rushing for? I don't know about you guys, but I have noticed, especially with time seems to be moving so fast. And over the last few years, I really am recognizing that I don't really want to rush. Even the goals that I have for myself and the things that I'd like to do, I realize now that I actually want to just enjoy the journey. I'm really not in a rush to get to where I'm going, and I'd love to share with you all some of the goals and things I'm working on. But you know what's more important to me than rushing to get there quickly is just enjoying the process and seeing the things that I learn, and just enjoying that journey. So yeah. The next thing I'm not going to do in 2024 is I'm not going to dream small. This has been so huge for me in the last few years, because I've really seen how my life has shifted when I was able to dream bigger than what I thought. I realize now that I used to restrict how much I desired, right? How much I was willing to say I wanted out of things, out of people, out of situations, and for myself. And I've really been practicing how to dream big. So whatever plan that I have, I find that it's helpful for me to push beyond, right? Whatever rather than thinking in ways of what do I think I can have, but taking it to the next level. What is it that I would want, even if I don't think I can have it? Because the universe is so abundant, right? There's really no limits except for those that we put on ourselves. And so, I'm not going to dream small. I'm going to dream big, and I'm going to open my heart and my mind and my desires to things that are bigger than what I think I could ever achieve or imagine. And I'm going to expect the best. And let's see what I'm not going to do. I am not going to wait for my happiness. This is the last one. So we'll close it up. We'll wrap up things here. I'm not going to wait for my happiness. I have really realized that happiness is something that we create every single day. In our current situation, in our current circumstance, waiting for happiness, our time is limited, and I would encourage you not to wait for your happiness, but to challenge yourself today to create whatever it is that you need to be happy today, and to do that every single day. So important. It's so important, especially as I'm dealing with very specific circumstances and losses. And it just reminds me how important it is that we live our life today, that we not put off our happiness to the future or to, another time, but that we create our happiness today. So yeah, that is all that I have. And I hope that you found that helpful. Let me know what things that you're not going to do in 2024. Or maybe if you want to share some things that you do intend to do in 2024 as we kick off this year. I'm so excited, and I have so many things that I'm planning and that I'm working towards, and I'm just grateful for hope in this new season. So thank you so much for just watching this video. Again, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Like this video, leave a comment below. Until next time, bye.